The body is not aging by accident. The exhaustion you carry is not a sign of failure. It is a signal that something ancient inside you is awakening. Before cells were named and biology became science, the body was known as a vessel of memory. Every organ held a story. Every cell carried intelligence older than time. The human body is not just flesh. It is a library of forgotten codes. You were born with a blueprint of renewal. You did not lose it. You simply fell asleep to it. Modern life trains you to forget. Stress becomes a mentor. Fear becomes routine. The nervous system adapts to urgency as if emergency is the natural state of existence. That is the moment the memory begins to dim. Not because your body is weak, but because it has been trying to protect you. But there comes a point when protection becomes limitation. There comes a moment when the body begins to rebel against survival mode. It whispers through tension. It speaks through fatigue. It calls you back home through discomfort. Not to punish, but to remind you. Your biology was never designed to decay the way the world wants you to believe. The truth is simple. Every cell in your body already knows how to repair. It has done it thousands of times without your awareness. Cuts close, bones mend. Immune cells rise in defense. The body renews without permission. The only real question is whether you are listening. The moment you turn inward with intention, something shifts. Cells respond to attention. Every memory of vitality awakens. You are not trying to add what is missing. You are remembering what has always been there. Inside your DNA lies an architecture built from light and pattern. The human body does not operate randomly. It operates by design. Intelligence flows through genes like a silent river. Telomeres count your cellular time. Mitochondria hold ancient fire. Fascia carries signals like spiritual wires. And your cells are waiting for your command. Not spoken in language, but spoken in frequency. Have you ever wondered why the body reacts instantly to fear or love? Why a single thought can weaken or strengthen you? Because the body remembers long before the mind understands. The deeper signal is not the thought. It is the vibration behind the thought. Each emotion sends a message. Each belief stores instruction. The body listens more to energy than to logic. At the cellular level, memory is not stored in words. It is stored in frequency and signal. This is why you can forget something mentally but still feel its impact physically. Trauma sits in muscle. Joy expands the chest. Old patterns shape posture. Your body becomes the physical expression of what you have lived. And when you choose to remember differently, the body responds. You are not trapped by genetics. You are influenced by what you consistently tell your cells. And most people tell their cells stories of limitation. They speak in the language of aging, fear, exhaustion, and survival. The awakening begins when you interrupt that story. It begins when you speak a different signal, not just through affirmation, but through awareness. When you shift from stress to safety, the body opens. When you shift from doubt to presence, the body reorganizes. Healing is not a miracle. It is cooperation. You are not changing the body. You are reminding the body of what it already knows. Cellular memory is the proof. Cells carry information from everything you have survived. They carry ancestral experiences and your own, but they also carry the memory of vitality, the memory of youth, the memory of power. You were not meant to decline. You were meant to evolve. When you breathe consciously, when you calm your nervous system, when you create coherence between heart and mind, the body activates the codes of repair. This is why deep breath slows aging, why stillness changes hormones, why intention shifts chemistry. Your cells are always listening, and every time you return to awareness, you flip a biological switch. Cells align, energy rises, regulation returns. The body follows the frequency of the mind. The moment you stop fighting your biology and begin communicating with it, something inside unlocks. The signal of life grows stronger. Your cells start working for you rather than against you. The intuition you feel is not spiritual imagination. It is the body speaking. It tells you when something is wrong. It tells you when something is right. It tells you when you are out of alignment. The body does not lie. It does not negotiate. It does not confuse. The only confusion comes from the mind that has forgotten to listen. In the quantum view of life, memory is not a collection of stories. It is a field. That field holds every possibility for renewal, and you are made of that field. So the awakening does not come from forcing. It comes from returning to presence. It begins with a single shift. You stop seeing your body as a machine that breaks down. You start seeing it as a living intelligence that evolves. You stop seeing symptoms as problems. You start seeing them as communication. Every ache is instruction. Every fatigue is guidance. Every imbalance is an invitation. The body speaks the language of transformation. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not damaged. You are at the threshold of remembering. The cellular memory is rising. You feel it when the old ways do not satisfy you anymore. You feel it when your intuition grows louder. You feel it when the inner whisper says there is more, and there is. The pulse of life is already inside you, not waiting to be discovered, waiting to be activated. You do not need to chase healing. You need to reconnect to the intelligence that heals. The body has always known the way back. It simply waited for the moment you were ready to listen. This is that moment. This is the beginning of the awakening. The code is not outside you. It is not in the future. It is inside every cell, waiting for the signal, waiting for presence, waiting for you. Matter is not the beginning of reality. The physical world is the final expression of a deeper architecture called the field. Everything you can touch, measure, see, or name is the echo of something that first existed as frequency. This means the body does not respond to matter first. It responds to signal. It responds to vibration. Every cell in your body is constantly listening to the field. It receives information long before your conscious mind understands what is happening. Your heartbeat changes when someone enters the room. Your energy shifts before words are exchanged. You sense danger before you see it. You feel attraction before you explain it. The field is always moving ahead of the physical. Most people believe reality is created from the outside in. They think circumstances shape emotion. They think events shape identity. They think physical conditions shape the inner state. But the truth is the opposite. The physical is the last part to change. Everything begins as a frequency in the field. You can test this truth in your own life. Think of a moment when you were holding fear. Your body contracted. Your breath shortened. Your heartbeat shifted. Without anything changing in the room, your entire biology reorganized. Not because of matter, but because of signal. The field speaks to the body through vibration. The field tells your cells what to create. This is why healing never begins with the physical. It begins with coherence in the field. When your inner world is chaotic, the body reflects it. When your thoughts and emotions are in conflict, the body reflects it. When your frequency is aligned, the body reflects that too. Every physical condition has an energetic origin, not as a metaphor, but as a biological response. You are made of atoms. Atoms are made of subatomic particles. Subatomic particles are not solid objects. They are vibrations. They exist more as energy than form. Even your DNA is wrapped in electromagnetic fields. Your heart generates an electromagnetic signature that extends far beyond your body. Your brain emits waves that shape your perception. You are made of energy, and energy obeys the laws of the field. The field controls the physical, not the other way around. There is a moment in every transformation when you must understand that reality is not happening to you, it is responding to you. The world does not wait for your effort. It responds to your frequency. Your relationships respond to your expectations. Your health responds to your beliefs. Your opportunities respond to your inner signal. When you think in terms of the field, you stop trying to fix the physical from the outside. You start shifting reality from the level where it begins. The field is shaped by attention. Wherever you place your awareness, energy moves. This is why fear grows when you feed it. Why anxiety expands when you give it power. Why your body can collapse under stress even without physical injury. The field receives the signal of your focus and amplifies it. The field remembers the story you repeat. and it projects that story out into your physical world. Every experience you are living right now is the result of past signals, past choices, past beliefs, past frequencies. When you understand this, you reclaim your power. You stop asking the world to change so you can feel safe. You change the signal first and let the world catch up. If you want a different reality, you begin by changing the field. The field responds to emotion more than thought. Thought creates direction. Emotion creates power. When both align, the physical must obey. This is why intention without emotion is weak, and emotion without awareness is chaotic. The key is coherence. The field becomes powerful the moment heart and mind move in the same direction. This is not theory. Your heart sends signals to your brain that shape perception. Your brain sends signals to the body that shape response. Your energy sends signals to the field that shape reality. When heart, brain, and field are aligned, life shifts. You feel it in the body first. A calmness that replaces effort, a clarity that replaces confusion, a certainty that does not need evidence. The physical follows the field. Every spiritual tradition knew this truth. Every healing lineage taught it, not because it was mystical, but because it was the natural order of life. The field sets the blueprint. The body builds according to it. Even disease does not begin in the physical. It begins as dissonance. Dissonance in emotion, dissonance in belief, dissonance in purpose. The body is the last place the misunderstanding appears. This is why shifting the field is the most efficient form of change. You are not fighting the physical. You are rewriting the pattern that creates it. The field is not outside you. It is generated from within you. Your thoughts are signals. Your beliefs are instructions. Your emotions are commands. The field does not respond to wishes. It responds to alignment. When you speak the language of the field, reality reorganizes. The right people appear. The path opens. The body heals. The opportunities align. Not because of luck, because the field changed first. You have felt this truth before. The moment you felt inspired and everything moved effortlessly. The moment you trusted and the answer appeared. The moment you connected with someone and the bond formed without effort. The field came first. The physical followed. Your life will continue to reflect whatever you are broadcasting. Not the story in your mind, but the vibration beneath it. Fear sends one signal. Love sends another. Gratitude restructures the field. Presence strengthens it. Breath anchors it. The field is always shaping reality according to your state. The more coherent you are, the more powerful your field becomes. The more powerful your field, the more easily the physical responds. So pause. Feel your breath. Feel your chest. Feel the vibration inside you. That is the source of your influence. The field does not require control. It requires awareness. It requires intention. It requires honesty. Every time you return to presence, you tune your field. And the field tunes your reality. If you are reading these words, something inside you is already shifting. You are remembering that the physical is not the limit of your power. The field is the origin of it. Before you continue, take one action. Comment a number below that you feel carries your frequency today. Any number. Let it be a signal. Let it be a declaration. Let it be your alignment with this moment, because the field hears you. The body hears you. And life responds to those who speak with intention. Your reality is waiting to reorganize, not when the world changes, but when your field does. The nervous system is the command center of your reality. Every thought, emotion, decision, and physical reaction begins with the signals traveling along your nerves. Yet most people live as if the nervous system is simply a background mechanism. They do not understand that this system is programmable. It learns from experience. It adapts to stress. It reshapes itself around memories and patterns. When you live in survival mode, your nervous system becomes wired for defense. The brain is trained to look for threats. The heart beats faster. Muscles prepare to protect. Hormones flood the body with alertness. This is not a flaw. It is a perfect survival design. But the problem arises when the body never leaves this state. Survival mode was meant to last for moments, not years. The nervous system cannot thrive while constantly preparing for danger. When it stays activated too long, you begin to experience exhaustion, anxiety, inflammation, irritability, and physical symptoms that seem unrelated. They are not unrelated. They are messages from your biology that the system is overwhelmed. The body is not breaking. It is reacting to signal. The nervous system holds the history of your stress. It memorizes every disruption. It stores every emotional wound. It carries the imprint of every moment you were forced to hold more than you could process. You do not become anxious by accident. You become anxious because the nervous system learned that response. And the same way it learned fear, it can learn peace again. The most powerful truth is this: the nervous system is plastic. It rewires, it rewrites signals, it upgrades its own function when provided with new experience. This is why healing never begins with forcing the body to change. It begins by shifting the signals you send through the nervous system. The body does not listen to logic. It listens to safety. Safety is the true healer. When your nervous system believes you are safe, the entire biology opens. Digestion improves. Hormones rebalance. Blood flow returns to vital organs. Immune function rises. Creativity and intuition return. The nervous system decides whether the body is in defense or expansion. Only one of these states allows regeneration. You cannot heal while fighting with yourself. You cannot grow while your inner system is bracing for danger. So the shift begins with presence. When you breathe slowly and consciously, the nervous system receives the signal to release. It shifts from survival into coherence. The heart slows. The brain waves soften. The muscles relax. The breath is not simply air. It is instruction. It tells the nervous system the environment is safe again. And once the body receives that signal, it begins to repair what stress interrupted. Many people think their emotions are the problem. The truth is deeper. Emotions are expressions of the nervous system. They are not random. They are not accidental. They are information. Fear tells you the system is overwhelmed. Anger tells you a boundary is being crossed. Sadness tells you something needs to be released. Avoiding emotions does not make the nervous system stronger. It makes it more reactive. Rewiring begins when you stop fighting what you feel. When you observe without judgment, the nervous system receives a new instruction. The body understands it is allowed to process. It does not need to suppress anymore. Suppression keeps the nervous system locked in past cycles. Awareness unlocks the pattern and creates space for change. The nervous system also responds to perception. If you view the world through the lens of threat, every sound becomes danger. Every challenge becomes threat. Every discomfort becomes crisis. But when the internal lens shifts to resilience, the nervous system receives a different signal. Challenge becomes growth. Discomfort becomes adaptation. Uncertainty becomes potential. The nervous system is constantly asking one question: are we safe? The answer to that question determines whether you expand or contract. You cannot change the past that shaped your system, but you can change the signals you send today. Breath is one doorway. Movement is another. When you soften the muscles, when you release the jaw, when you relax the shoulders, the nervous system receives the message of safety. The body mirrors the mind, and the mind mirrors the body. What you change in one always affects the other. This is the principle of coherence. Rewiring does not require effort. It requires consistency and awareness. Small shifts repeated daily create new neural pathways. A calm presence practiced for moments each day sends a message stronger than years of stress. The nervous system rewires through repetition, through gentle exposure to peace, through the return to the present moment. Many teachings tell you to control your thoughts. The more powerful truth is this: regulate your nervous system and your thoughts will follow. When the nervous system is calm, the mind becomes clear. When the nervous system is safe, the heart opens. When the nervous system trusts, the body heals. At the deepest level, your nervous system is designed not for fear, but for connection. Connection to self, connection to breath, connection to the field. The vagus nerve, the heart, the brain, and the gut are constantly communicating. They form an inner network that responds instantly to emotion and intention. When you speak to your body with presence, that network receives the signal. Neural pathways begin to shift. Old patterns weaken. New signals form. This is not just psychology. It is biology. The nervous system is always listening. It accepts the signals you repeat most often. If you repeat fear, it memorizes fear. If you repeat presence, it memorizes presence. Healing does not happen through force. It happens through reprogramming. You teach the nervous system to trust again. You teach it to soften. You teach it that the danger has passed. The moment the nervous system shifts into safety, your life changes. You see choices where you once saw limitations. You see opportunities instead of threats. You feel calm where you once felt overwhelmed. You move from survival to expansion. This is the beginning of sovereignty. You are no longer ruled by old patterns. You are no longer defined by the past. You are no longer controlled by stress. You become the one who instructs your biology. You become the signal. The nervous system is not your enemy. It is your guardian. It only needs new information. It only needs the truth you forgot. You are safe now. You are home. You are no longer defined by survival. You are designed for coherence. And the moment that message reaches your nervous system, the body remembers how to heal. The universe is not built in straight lines. The pattern of life does not unfold as a flat sequence. Every living system follows a spiral blueprint. Galaxies form in spirals. Hurricanes move in spirals. Shells grow in spirals. DNA itself, the very architecture of life, is a double helix twisting through space like a cosmic memory. The spiral is the language of creation. It is the shape of expansion and return. Every transformation you have ever experienced followed this pattern. You never moved forward in a perfect line. You rose, fell, circled back, learned, and rose again. Growth has always been a spiral. Many people misunderstand their journey because they expect progress to be linear. They think healing means moving forward without returning to old feelings or old patterns. But the spiral shows a deeper truth. You return to the same emotional places, but from a higher frequency. You revisit the same wounds, but with greater strength. You face the same questions, but with more awareness. It is not repetition. It is elevation. The spiral guides you through layers of becoming. Every cycle brings you closer to your core. The ancients knew this. They carved spirals into stone. They built temples and labyrinths based on this architecture. They understood that the soul evolves in curves, not lines. Even breath follows a spiral. The ribcage opens like a coil. The diaphragm descends like a wave. The spine carries the motion of serpentine energy. Your entire body is engineered to follow the spiral memory of the universe. The same pattern exists in your mind. Thoughts do not move randomly. They loop and return. Emotions circle through time. Memory awakens in cycles. This is why old experiences rise again when you are ready to expand. Not because you failed, because you have reached a new layer of the spiral. The spiral is also the architecture of energy. Every chakra, every meridian, every flow of life in the subtle body moves in spiraling motion. Light travels in spirals. Sound waves form spirals. Even your own aura shifts in spiraling geometry as emotions change frequency. The spiral is the blueprint of manifestation. When you align with it, life stops feeling forced. You stop pushing and start remembering. You stop struggling and start responding. The spiral teaches one core truth. Everything expands outward and returns inward. Creation, experience, growth, release. Every cycle is both departure and homecoming. The reason the spiral is sacred is because it contains both motion and stillness. At the center is the origin. Around it is the expansion. The spiral always leads you back to your source. When you forget your origin, life becomes heavy. When you remember the center, life becomes fluid again. The spiral never loses connection to its core. It carries the essence of beginning through every stage of becoming. Your personal evolution works the same way. There is a center within you that never changes. Around that center you grow, shift, shed identities, build new worlds. The journey is not away from yourself. It is toward a deeper version of your own truth. Even the challenges you meet are part of the spiral design. They are not interruptions, they are invitations. They signal that you have reached a new layer of your own consciousness. When discomfort rises, it means the spiral is expanding. When clarity appears, it means the spiral has returned to center. The universe mirrors this pattern everywhere. Trees branch in fractal spirals, rivers carve spiral paths, blood flows in spiral currents. Nothing truly moves in a straight line. Even time itself is cyclical. What appears linear is simply the spiral viewed from one angle. The deeper your awareness grows, the clearer the pattern becomes. The architecture of your life is intelligent. The spiral blueprint is already written within your cells. The double helix is the living symbol of ascension. It carries the code for regeneration, for memory, for evolution. When you align with the spiral, healing becomes a natural unfolding. You stop trying to force outcomes. You stop fighting the moment. You allow the intelligence of the pattern to reveal what comes next. The spiral is not chaotic, it is precise. Every rotation brings new insight, new capacity, new awareness. The mind wants straight answers. The soul understands spirals. It trusts timing. It trusts return. It trusts that nothing leaves without coming back in higher form. Even emotions follow this curve. When an old feeling returns, it does not mean you have fallen back. It means you are revisiting the same point at a higher level. The spiral is your proof that evolution is happening, even when it feels slow. Nature does not rush. Energy does not hurry. The spiral carries its own pace, and when you honor that pace, your nervous system relaxes, your breath deepens, your body opens. The spiral becomes the path of least resistance. It shows you that transformation is not a single moment. It is a sequence of becoming. You are shedding the layers you no longer need. You are stepping into identities you are always meant to hold. You are rising in a direction you can feel more than define. The spiral teaches patience and precision. It dissolves the illusion of failure. It turns every step into an initiation. The deeper truth is this: you are a fractal expression of the universe. The architecture that builds galaxies is the same architecture that builds your inner world. There is no separation between cosmic geometry and personal evolution. You are carrying the pattern of creation within you. Your journey is the universe remembering itself. The spiral is the signature of your origin and your destiny. It reminds you that everything you are becoming is already encoded within your being. The only task is to align with that design, to trust the curve, to follow the motion inward and outward, to allow the pattern to lift you into higher awareness. Every experience, every cycle, every breath is part of the spiral architecture guiding you home to yourself. You are not moving in circles. You are ascending. You are not repeating the past. You are rising above it. The spiral is the map, and you are already walking it. Belief is not a philosophy held in the mind. Belief is a signal broadcasted into the cells. Every thought you repeat carries chemical consequences. Every story you tell about yourself becomes instruction for your biology. The body listens to belief more than environment. You can place two people in the same situation and their bodies will react completely differently, not because of circumstance, but because of the signal they are sending inside. Cellular belief is the silent architect of your physical state. The nervous system, the immune system, the endocrine system are constantly adjusting to the messages they receive from your internal dialogue. When you say to yourself, "I am tired," the body responds with fatigue. When you say, "I am overwhelmed," the body prepares for defense. When you say, "I cannot," the cells shut down their energy output. Belief is biology. The most underestimated science of our time is that the body responds to intention and expectation. You have seen this in your own life. A moment of fear changes your breath. A moment of confidence changes your posture. A moment of grief changes your heartbeat. These are not metaphors. These are biochemical reactions programmed by belief. Your cells carry receptors for emotion. They read the chemical signature of your thoughts. They adjust gene expression based on your inner state. Epigenetics has proven that what you believe about your life can turn genes on and off. Genetics may load the gun, but belief pulls the trigger or keeps it silent. The key is understanding the difference between conscious belief and subconscious programming. Conscious belief is what you think. Subconscious belief is what your body has decided is true. The subconscious mind speaks the language of memory and repetition. It does not respond to logic. It responds to consistency. If you repeat a disempowering thought long enough, the subconscious accepts it as identity. It hands that identity to the cells. The cells carry it as instruction. You are programming your biology every moment you think, every moment you interpret life, every moment you speak to yourself. Many people carry cellular beliefs they never chose, handed down by parents, shaped by hardship, molded by trauma, reinforced by a society that teaches you to expect limitation. At some point, those beliefs stop being stories and start becoming chemistry. The body is a perfect student. It learns whatever you teach it. If you teach your biology that you are fragile, it will behave as if you are. If you teach your biology that you are powerful, it will mobilize every resource to match that belief. The most radical truth is that the body tries to prove your beliefs correct, not because it wants to agree with you, but because it wants coherence. The cells seek alignment between inner and outer worlds. They strive to make reality match your expectations. When you expect disaster, the nervous system stays guarded. When you expect rejection, the body prepares for loss. When you expect success, the entire system prepares to move. The universe you experience begins inside the cells. To reprogram your cellular beliefs, you do not fight the old ones. You introduce new ones with consistency and presence. The subconscious does not respond to force. It responds to repetition. You teach the body through experience, emotion, and behavior. You show the cells what is true by living as if it is already real. Every small act of self-trust is an instruction. Every breath of calm is a signal. Every moment of gratitude reshapes chemistry. You are not convincing the mind. You are communicating with the cells. They do not speak the language of words. They speak the language of frequency. This is why affirmation alone is weak. The words are empty if the energy behind them is fear. The body will not accept a belief that contradicts your emotional state. Emotion is the carrier wave of belief. When belief and emotion align, the cells obey. When they contradict, the old pattern wins. Reprogramming begins with awareness. Notice the stories your body has been living. I am always stressed. I am not enough. I never heal. These are not truths. These are learned signals. They can be rewritten. The body is not attached to the past. It is attached to what you repeat. Even the deepest pattern can be rewritten. The nervous system changes through safety. The immune system changes through trust. The heart changes through connection. The brain changes through presence. When you shift your internal experience, the cells follow. This is why visualization is powerful. The brain cannot distinguish between imagination and reality. If you imagine peace, the cells respond with relaxation. If you imagine strength, the cells respond with energy. The body reacts to imagery as if it is happening now. You can speak to the cells through sensation. When you breathe into the heart, the nervous system receives the message of safety. When you soften your muscles, the subconscious receives the message of trust. When you move slowly and mindfully, the body receives the message of presence. Presence is the language of cellular belief. The more conscious you are of your internal world, the easier it becomes to redirect the signal. Reprogramming is not pretending, it is returning to truth. You are not weak, you learned to act weak. You are not broken, you learned to survive. You are not limited, you learned to conform. Underneath every cellular belief is a deeper intelligence. It remembers your original blueprint. It remembers vitality. It remembers peace. It remembers strength. You are not adding new power. You are removing interference. Every old belief dissolves when the body receives a stronger signal, a signal of clarity, a signal of stability, a signal of identity. The subconscious does not erase old programming. It overwrites it. A new signal replaces the old. A new expectation shapes biology. When your belief changes, your chemistry changes, your perception changes, Your reality changes. The body does not change first. The belief does. You have already reprogrammed your biology many times without noticing. Every time you healed from pain, every time you overcame fear, every time you chose yourself. The proof of your power is inside your own history. You are capable of far more than survival. You are designed for coherence. You are designed for expansion. You are designed for renewal. Reprogramming your cellular beliefs is not a future goal. It is a present decision. You are already sending signals. You are already shaping your biology. Now you do it with awareness. Now you do it with intention. Now you do it with the truth that your cells have been waiting to hear. You are not a prisoner of your past. You are not defined by what hurt you. You are not limited by what others believed. You carry the authority to speak a new instruction into your cells, and they are ready to listen. Stuckness is not a state of failure. It is a signal that energy has stopped flowing. The body and the mind were never designed for stagnation. Every living system is in motion. Blood flows, breath rises and falls, emotions move through the nervous system. The universe itself is in constant expansion. The only time life feels heavy is when something inside stops moving. Flow is the natural condition of existence. When you feel disconnected, it is not because you are broken. It is because your energy has been held in defense for too long. The body contracts when it senses threat. Muscles tighten. Thoughts speed up. Breath becomes shallow. The nervous system prepares for survival. This contraction is not wrong, it is protective. But when the threat has passed and the contraction remains, it becomes resistance. You stop flowing because the body is holding a memory that has not yet been released. Flow is not a feeling, it is your original design. Every cell responds to movement. Fascia carries signals through fluid channels. The heart communicates through rhythm. The brain clears through waves. Your biology depends on motion for health. Energy wants to move through you, not around you. When flow returns, clarity returns. You stop clinging to outcomes. You stop forcing direction. You allow life to move with you rather than against you. Resistance is the opposite of flow, and resistance is always rooted in fear. Fear of loss, fear of change, fear of failure, fear of the unknown. Fear freezes the system. Flow restores it. The return to flow begins when you stop trying to control everything. Control is a form of armor. It comes from the belief that life cannot be trusted. But life is not your enemy. It is your partner. Every time you surrender to the moment, the body softens, breath deepens, the mind clears, flow returns. Flow does not happen when everything in your life lines up perfectly. It happens when you align with yourself. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions cooperate. When you stop fighting your own evolution. This is why flow feels effortless. It is the absence of inner friction. Not because there are no obstacles, but because you have learned to move with the current instead of against it. The truth is that flow does not come from removing challenges. It comes from removing resistance. Pain becomes suffering when you resist it. Fear becomes paralysis when you resist it. Change becomes chaos when you resist it. But when you let experience move through you, transformation unfolds naturally. Emotions were never meant to be trapped. They are meant to be felt. They are energy in motion. When they are allowed to move, they complete their cycle. When they are suppressed, they form blockages in the mind and the body. This is why people feel stuck. They are holding emotions that wanted to move. Flow returns when you allow your inner world to breathe. When you give yourself permission to feel. When you stop trying to be strong in ways that keep you weak. Vulnerability is not collapse. It is the opening of the system. It allows energy to move again. It gives the nervous system space to recalibrate. Flow also requires presence. You cannot be in the past or the future and remain in flow. Flow happens only in the now. The moment you return to the present, the system reorganizes, tension dissolves, thought slows, the body senses safety again. Presence is the doorway to flow. Movement is the expression of flow. You do not need dramatic action. Tiny movements can release years of stagnation. A slow stretch, a deep breath, a gentle shift in posture. These signals tell the body it is safe to move again. Fascia unwinds, muscles soften, the heart opens. Flow is not force, it is permission. The more you allow life to move through you, the more energy you have. The more you fight it, the more exhausted you become. Flow is not luck, it is alignment. Everything in nature moves toward expansion. Trees lean toward light. Rivers find the path of least resistance. Wind travels around obstacles. You are designed to move the same way. Your intuition is the compass. Your breath is the anchor. Your body is the river. When you follow the current within you, life becomes a collaboration rather than a struggle. Opportunities appear not because they suddenly existed, but because you return to the frequency where they were visible. Flow does not eliminate discomfort, it transforms it. Challenge becomes momentum. Uncertainty becomes creativity. Change becomes evolution. When you are in flow, the nervous system enters a state of coherence. The heart and brain synchronize. The immune system strengthens. The mind becomes clear. The body becomes energized. This is not a mystical state. It is a physiological state. Flow is the moment the body and the field operate as one. Expansion becomes the default. Flow is also the state where identity shifts. When you stop trying to cling to the old version of yourself, you create space for the new. Flow requires that you release the need to know how everything will unfold. The path is revealed step by step. The next door appears only when you move. Many people wait for clarity before taking action. But clarity comes from action. The return to flow is the return to trust. Trust in the intelligence of your own body, trust in the rhythm of life, trust in the unseen guidance that has always been there. When you move in flow, the world responds. Conversations align. Timing becomes precise. Synchronicity appears. Not because life suddenly changed, but because you changed your position within it. You became available to movement. You became receptive to the current. The deeper truth is that you do not find flow. You remember it. Flow is your original nature. It was there before fear, before doubt, before control. You were not born rigid. You were born fluid. You were born in motion. You are returning to that state now. Flow is the language of the body and the language of the universe. It is the state where everything you are and everything you are becoming move in unity. There is no need to push or pull. You move because the current takes you forward. The return to flow is the return to your own intelligence. It is the moment you allow life to collaborate with you. It is the moment you stop resisting your own becoming. Flow is not a destination. It is a way of being. It is the natural consequence of releasing what no longer belongs in your system. And once you step back into flow, you realize you never truly lost it. You only forgot how to listen. Light is not just something you see. It is something you absorb. The body does not treat light as decoration. It treats it as information and nourishment. Long before food became the primary source of energy, light guided the rhythm of human biology. Every sunrise signals the body to wake. Every sunset signals the body to repair. The brain responds to light before it responds to thought. When photons touch the skin and eyes, they trigger chemical cascades that shape hormones, metabolism, and cellular repair. This is not spiritual metaphor. This is biology. Mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, respond directly to certain wavelengths of light. Red and infrared light travel deeper into tissue where they activate enzymes that build ATP, the currency of energy. In the presence of light, mitochondria become more efficient at producing vitality. You are not only warmed by light, you are energized by it. When people speak about chronic fatigue, mood imbalances, or low immunity, they rarely consider light as a factor. Yet, a brief moment of sunlight can change your entire hormonal profile. Morning light tells the body when to wake, when to focus, and when to repair. One of the most powerful regulators of your inner rhythm is light. Without it, your nervous system misinterprets time. Your hormones fall out of sync. Your sleep becomes unstable. Your mood weakens. This is why the modern world struggles with exhaustion despite rest. Artificial light confuses the system. Blue light at night keeps the brain awake. Indoor living deprives the body of the signals it needs. Your biology is still designed for the rhythms of the earth. When you return to those rhythms, the body responds with clarity. Sunrise light is especially potent. Its soft wavelengths activate the circadian clock without overwhelming the system. This single moment sets the tone for your entire day. It triggers cortisol release at the correct time rather than through stress. It quiets inflammation. It strengthens immunity. Light is a nutrient that regulates every system. Plants turn toward light instinctively. Humans do the same. When you step outside and lift your face to the sky, there is a reason it feels like relief. The nervous system recognizes the signal. The eyes receive wavelengths that no artificial source can replicate. These wavelengths travel to the brain and tell the body that the world is safe. Safety allows healing. This is why light improves sleep, even though it arrives during wakefulness. It does not relax you by calming your system. It regulates you by aligning your biology. Even 5 minutes in natural light can reorganize your inner rhythm. Light communicates in a language the body understands. It speaks directly to cells. It activates the blueprint of your physical vitality. Throughout history, ancient cultures worshipped light because they understood its intelligence. Temples were designed so that sunlight entered at precise angles. Monuments were aligned with the solstices. Rituals began at dawn and ended at dusk. These were not superstitions. They were expressions of biological wisdom. The sun has always been the original healer. Modern science calls it photobiomodulation. Ancient people simply called it life. The skin absorbs light and sends the information to cells. Vitamin D is one example, but it is only the surface. Light affects neurotransmitters, immune function, and gene expression. It influences metabolic health and brain chemistry. It strengthens the heart. It guides the endocrine system. The absence of light creates chaos in the body. Seasonal depression, insomnia, hormonal dysregulation, and immune weakness are not isolated conditions. They are symptoms of misalignment. The body is asking for reconnection. Light is not optional. It is foundational. The more disconnected a person becomes from the natural rhythm of light, the more the inner systems struggle. You already know this unconsciously. You crave light when you are tired. You open the curtains when you wake. You sit beside windows without thinking. Your biology is still attuned to the sun. It remembers what the modern world forgot. Light is nourishment. It is instruction. It is regulation. When sunrise touches your skin, it activates the nervous system and calms the stress response. When sunset touches your eyes, it tells the body to shift into repair mode. Light does not just mark time, it shapes time. When people speak of anti-aging, they often focus on food and supplements. They forget what every cell is asking for. Light is one of the only natural sources that directly improves mitochondrial function. It protects cells from damage and encourages regeneration. Even the brain has light-sensitive receptors. They govern mood and clarity. They determine alertness and rest. The body thrives when exposed to natural cycles. This rhythm is precision, not coincidence. Light also affects water within the body. Cells contain structured water that responds to electromagnetic frequency. Light organizes this water, making the body more efficient at communication and energy flow. This is why light feels cleansing. It does more than illuminate the world, it illuminates the body. The forgotten truth is that you are photonic. Your cells emit light of their own. They communicate through biophotons. Health is coherence of light. Disease is dissonance of light. When the inner light becomes chaotic, the outer body reflects that confusion. When you return to the original rhythm, the light inside you reorganizes. The body begins to glow, not in appearance, but in vitality. This glow is not mystical, it is measurable. It is the sign that your biology has returned to its natural state. When people say they feel more alive after spending time in nature, they are describing this shift. Nature does not heal, it reminds. It brings the body back into alignment with the field. Light is the medium that carries that alignment. You were not designed to live beneath artificial ceilings. You were designed to exist beneath the open sky. The more you reconnect with natural light, the more the inner system heals. It is not effort, it is contact. Light is the simplest form of nourishment you can receive. It asks nothing from you. It offers everything. It enters every cell and reminds it of its original design. You do not need to chase vitality. You need to return to the source of it. Light is the forgotten nutrient because modern life replaced it with convenience. Yet your biology is not forgotten. Every morning you are offered renewal. Every evening you are invited into restoration. Light remains the quiet teacher, guiding your body back to balance. The body listens to light. It responds to light. And when you align with it, your entire system moves from survival into coherence. The forgotten nutrient becomes the remembered truth. You were always meant to live in the glow. Light is not just something you see, it is something you absorb. The body does not treat light as decoration. It treats it as information and nourishment. Long before food became the primary source of energy, light guided the rhythm of human biology. Every sunrise signals the body to wake. Every sunset signals the body to repair. The brain responds to light before it responds to thought. When photons touch the skin and eyes, they trigger chemical cascades that shape hormones, metabolism, and cellular repair. This is not spiritual metaphor. This is biology. Mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, respond directly to certain wavelengths of light. Red and infrared light travel deeper into tissue where they activate enzymes that build ATP, the currency of energy. In the presence of light, mitochondria become more efficient at producing vitality. You are not only warmed by light, you are energized by it. When people speak about chronic fatigue, mood imbalances, or low immunity, they rarely consider light as a factor. Yet, a brief moment of sunlight can change your entire hormonal profile. Morning light tells the body when to wake, when to focus, and when to repair. One of the most powerful regulators of your inner rhythm is light. Without it, your nervous system misinterprets time. Your hormones fall out of sync. Your sleep becomes unstable. Your mood weakens. This is why the modern world struggles with exhaustion despite rest. Artificial light confuses the system. Blue light at night keeps the brain awake. Indoor living deprives the body of the signals it needs. Your biology is still designed for the rhythms of the earth. When you return to those rhythms, the body responds with clarity. Sunrise light is especially potent. Its soft wavelengths activate the circadian clock without overwhelming the system. This single moment sets the tone for your entire day. It triggers cortisol release at the correct time rather than through stress. It quiets inflammation. It strengthens immunity. Light is a nutrient that regulates every system. Plants turn toward light instinctively. Humans do the same. When you step outside and lift your face to the sky, there is a reason it feels like relief. The nervous system recognizes the signal. The eyes receive wavelengths that no artificial source can replicate. These wavelengths travel to the brain and tell the body that the world is safe. Safety allows healing. This is why light improves sleep, even though it arrives during wakefulness. It does not relax you by calming your system, it regulates you by aligning your biology. Even 5 minutes in, natural light can reorganize your inner rhythm. Light communicates in a language the body understands. It speaks directly to cells. It activates the blueprint of your physical vitality. Throughout history, ancient cultures worshipped light because they understood its intelligence. Temples were designed so that sunlight entered at precise angles. Monuments were aligned with the solstices. Rituals began at dawn and ended at dusk. These were not superstitions. They were expressions of biological wisdom. The sun has always been the original healer. Modern science calls it photobiomodulation. Ancient people simply called it life. The skin absorbs light and sends the information to cells. Vitamin D is one example, but it is only the surface. Light affects neurotransmitters, immune function, and gene expression. It influences metabolic health and brain chemistry. It strengthens the heart. It guides the endocrine system. The absence of light creates chaos in the body. Seasonal depression, insomnia, hormonal dysregulation, and immune weakness are not isolated conditions. They are symptoms of misalignment. The body is asking for reconnection. Light is not optional. It is foundational. The more disconnected a person becomes from the natural rhythm of light, the more the inner systems struggle. You already know this unconsciously. You crave light when you are tired. You open the curtains when you wake. You sit beside windows without thinking. Your biology is still attuned to the sun. It remembers what the modern world forgot. Light is nourishment. It is instruction. It is regulation. When sunrise touches your skin, it activates the nervous system and calms the stress response. When sunset touches your eyes, it tells the body to shift into repair mode. Light does not just mark time, it shapes time. When people speak of anti-aging, they often focus on food and supplements. They forget what every cell is asking for. Light is one of the only natural sources that directly improves mitochondrial function. It protects cells from damage and encourages regeneration. Even the brain has light-sensitive receptors. They govern mood and clarity. They determine alertness and rest. The body thrives when exposed to natural cycles. This rhythm is precision, not coincidence. Light also affects water within the body. Cells contain structured water that responds to electromagnetic frequency. Light organizes this water, making the body more efficient at communication and energy flow. This is why light feels cleansing. It does more than illuminate the world. It illuminates the body. The forgotten truth is that you are photonic. Your cells emit light of their own. They communicate through biophotons. Health is coherence of light. Disease is dissonance of light. When the inner light becomes chaotic, the outer body reflects that confusion. When you return to the original rhythm, the light inside you reorganizes. The body begins to glow, not in appearance, but in vitality. This glow is not mystical. It is measurable. It is the sign that your biology has returned to its natural state. When people say they feel more alive after spending time in nature, they are describing this shift. Nature does not heal. It reminds. It brings the body back into alignment with the field. Light is the medium that carries that alignment. You were not designed to live beneath artificial ceilings. You were designed to exist beneath the open sky. The more you reconnect with natural light, the more the inner system heals. It is not effort. It is contact. Light is the simplest form of nourishment you can receive. It asks nothing from you. It offers everything. It enters every cell and reminds it of its original design. You do not need to chase vitality. You need to return to the source of it. Light is the forgotten nutrient because modern life replaced it with convenience. Yet your biology has not forgotten. Every morning you are offered renewal. Every evening you are invited into restoration. Light remains the quiet teacher, guiding your body back to balance. The body listens to light. It responds to light. And when you align with it, your entire system moves from survival into coherence. The forgotten nutrient becomes the remembered truth. You were always meant to live in the glow. The heart is older than thought. It is the first organ to form when life begins and the last signal to fade when life ends. It beats not because the brain commands it, but because it carries its own rhythm and intelligence. Inside its pulse, there is a language more ancient than words. The mind evaluates. The heart knows. When the heart speaks, the entire body responds. It sends messages through electrical waves faster than hormones or nerves can travel. It does not wait for logic to approve. It leads, and the rest of the body follows. The mistake modern life teaches is believing the brain is the master. But the brain is the student. It waits for the heart to set the tone. The heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field in your body. It is measurable several feet beyond your skin. This field changes with emotion. When you feel fear, the rhythm becomes jagged and the signal fragment. When you feel coherence, the field becomes smooth and harmonic. Every cell listens to that field. They synchronize themselves to the heart before they respond to any other command. Healing begins when the heart and brain align, not when the mind tries to control the body, not when you force yourself into calm. Alignment happens when the heart becomes the conductor and the mind falls into rhythm. Breath is the bridge between the two. When you inhale slowly, you send a signal of safety. When you exhale fully, the body releases stored tension. This is why a calm breath makes the mind quiet. The heart leads and the brain entrains to its rhythm. This is not a metaphor, it is biology. Heart rate variability, the subtle shift between beats. is the measure of adaptability. The more flexible your heart rhythm becomes, the more resilient you are to stress. The brain follows the signal of that adaptability. In trauma, the heart constricts and the brain enters survival mode. In presence, the heart opens and the brain enters clarity. The body is always deciding which of these worlds to live in. You have felt the difference. There are moments when the pulse is steady and your thinking becomes sharp, intuitive, clear. There are other moments when the chest tightens and the mind fills with static. These are not random shifts, they are responses to the conductor. The heart does not only feel emotion, it creates it. It instructs the brain which chemicals to release. Love is not a concept, it is a frequency emitted by the heart. Gratitude is not an attitude, it is a biological state that begins in the chest. When a person places their hand over their heart, their nervous system changes. When two people stand, close their heart fields and train with one another, this is why presence can calm a room. The heart does not need to touch skin to communicate. It speaks through the field around you. You have seen this in your own life. A child quiets in the arms of a peaceful adult. An animal relaxes near someone safe. We call it intuition or vibe, but what we are feeling is the coherence of another heart. The brain receives that signal and the entire body responds. The heart is the tuning fork for the nervous system. It sets the frequency for hormones, immune function, breath, and even digestion. When its signal becomes stable, the body enters a state of repair. Sleep deepens, pain softens, the mind stops chasing every thought, stress dissolves. This is the return home. Many people try to heal only through thinking. They try to reason their way into calm or control their way into peace. But the nervous system does not listen to pressure. It does not obey force. It obeys rhythm. The heart provides that rhythm. A single moment of coherence can shift the entire internal chemistry. One slow inhale, one longer exhale, one breath of presence. The brain is not the author of your life story. It is the interpreter. The author is the heart. When you follow the heart impulse, you move in alignment with the body. Decisions become clear. Confusion falls away. The heart does not shout. It hums. The mind is loud because it is always analyzing and predicting. The heart speaks through sensation and instinct. It communicates through stillness and pull rather than noise. You know the feeling of a heart-led choice. It does not feel like strain. It feels like clarity. It feels like yes, even when there is no logic, even when there is risk. The heart does not calculate safety the same way the brain does. It reads the field, it feels the direction, and the body follows. This intelligence lives in every living being. Birds migrate across continents. Whales navigate oceans. They are not thinking their way through. They are feeling the field. They are led by a rhythm that predates mind. Humans have this ability too, but modern noise drowns it out. Too much analysis numbs the deeper signal. Too much fear tightens the chest and the heart withdraws. When the heart closes, the brain tries to overcompensate and the inner world becomes chaotic. Returning to coherence is not about effort, it is about permission. It begins with breath into the chest. It deepens with awareness of the pulse. It continues with the willingness to feel rather than avoid. Emotion is not the enemy. Stagnation is. The heart processes emotion through vibration. When you breathe slowly, you let emotion move. When you hold your breath, you trap it. The heart is the gateway between the physical and the unseen. It translates meaning into biology. It turns intuition into action. It shapes your inner state before the brain ever understands what is happening. Wisdom does not begin in thought. It begins in feeling. Every ancient tradition knew this. They placed the hand on the heart. They trusted the signal of the chest. They understood that the heart is the seat of the soul. The body follows the heart, just as the heart follows the rhythm of life. When the heart and brain fall into coherence, the entire system becomes one instrument. The heart plays the melody, and the mind becomes the harmony. In that moment, the noise falls away and clarity rises. You do not have to fight for peace. You align with it. When the heart leads, the brain listens. When the brain listens, the body heals. You are not here to silence the mind. You are here to tune the heart so the mind has a clear signal to follow. This is not about idealism. It is about physiology. The heart is the conductor. The brain is the orchestra. And when they play together, every system in your body remembers the original song of balance. Healing is not a destination. It is the return to this inner rhythm. The moment you reconnect to your heart, you reconnect to your field. The moment the field becomes coherent, the body becomes whole. The heart is not an organ. It is the lighthouse of your biology. When it shines, the path is visible again, and the rest of you rises to meet it. Purpose is not a goal you choose. It is a frequency you remember. Every human being is born already oriented towards something larger than survival. You have felt this as an inner pull, a restlessness, a quiet knowing that your existence has direction. Purpose is not created by ambition or achievement. It emerges from identity. Who you believe you are shapes what you believe you are here to do. When your identity is small, your purpose shrinks. When your identity expands, your purpose reveals itself. The world tries to convince you that purpose is found in external success, in status, recognition, accumulation. But purpose is not measured in the physical. Purpose is measured in the quality of awareness that moves through you. The question is not, what should I do with my life? The question is, what am I becoming? Everything begins with attention. Wherever your attention goes, energy follows. Whatever you repeatedly notice becomes your dominant reality. If your attention stays stuck in fear and comparison, your identity will reflect that. You become the person who navigates life from limitation. When your attention turns inward, you begin to see the truth of your nature. Attention is the steering wheel of consciousness. It is the tool that aligns your inner world with the field. The field does not respond to words or wishes. It responds to the signal of your attention. What you focus on becomes the blueprint. The body follows, the mind reinforces, and reality reflects. Identity is built from repeated patterns of attention. If you constantly feed your attention into doubt, your nervous system rewires for caution. If you feed your attention into possibility, your biology prepares for expansion. The subconscious does not question your attention. It obeys it. This is why so many people remain in small lives. Not because of lack of opportunity, but because their attention is trapped in old stories. They are loyal to past versions of themselves. They believe they are replaying reality. In truth, they are recreating it. Every identity you have ever held was built on where your attention lived. When attention shifts, identity follows. Purpose awakens in that shift. Purpose does not reveal itself when you wait for clarity. It reveals itself when you stop feeding attention into distraction, noise, and avoidance. The more you bring your attention into awareness, the more your inner world speaks. The mind may resist, but the heart knows the direction. The nervous system feels the alignment. The body recognizes the frequency of truth. Nothing in your life changes until your identity changes. And identity changes the moment you choose where your attention belongs. Your story is not written by circumstances. It is written by perception. Two people can live the same experience and emerge with different realities because their attention constructed different meanings. Your attention is the author of meaning. When you give your attention to hope, you become a different person than when you give your attention to fear. When you give your attention to strength, you build neural pathways for courage. When you give your attention to gratitude, you train the body to release stress. Attention is not passive. It is the most powerful form of creation you possess. Purpose grows in the direction of your attention. What you consistently notice becomes the foundation of your identity. When you choose presence, clarity, integrity, and self-honesty, your identity becomes coherent. Coherence is the birthplace of purpose. It is the moment your heart and mind move together. The greatest confusion comes when people expect purpose to be something they find. Purpose is not a destination. It is the effect of alignment. When you live in survival, you cannot hear purpose. When you live in coherence, purpose becomes obvious. Your purpose is not a future event. It is the expression of who you are now. If you want to change your purpose, you change your identity. If you want to change your identity, you change your attention. This cycle is the essence of transformation. Identity is not fixed. It is fluid. It evolves every time you redirect your attention. The universe responds to identity, not intention. You will always attract experiences that match the frequency of who you believe you are. This is why shifting identity is more powerful than setting goals. Goals without identity become effort. Identity aligned with purpose becomes inevitability. When you live from purpose, you do not chase opportunity. You become the kind of person opportunities find. You stop seeking permission. You stop waiting for perfect timing. You stop negotiating with fear. Purpose is not comfortable. It calls you into expansion. It asks you to shed the version of yourself that survives and step into the version that leads. This is why purpose often begins with disruption. A moment where something familiar collapses, when a belief dissolves, when a habit can no longer continue. These moments are not setbacks. They are identity shifts. They pull you into a higher frequency where your purpose has been waiting. When you follow purpose, your attention becomes focused. Distraction loses power. Comparison fades. Doubt quiets. You stop needing validation because you are no longer living from insecurity. You are living from identity. Purpose does not ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be true. It asks you to show up in the world as someone who is awake to their own power. Your life is shaped by the questions you ask. When your questions change, your attention changes. When your attention changes, your identity changes. When your identity changes, your entire life reorganizes. There is a version of you that already knows what you are here to do, not in words, but in sensation. You have felt it in moments of clarity. You have glimpsed it in moments of courage. You have touched it in moments when life felt aligned. Purpose is not far away. It is beneath the layers of distraction. It lives in the space where your attention meets your truth. You do not need more time or certainty. You need presence. Identity strengthens when you live from presence. Purpose unfolds when you protect your attention from the noise. The more you align with who you are becoming, the less you are controlled by who you were. Purpose does not demand that you change the world. It demands that you change the way you see yourself. The moment you do, reality responds. Purpose is the natural expression of a coherent identity. And the path to coherence begins with where you place your attention. The body does not store the past as memory, it stores it as pattern. Every emotion you could not process became a signal that shaped your nervous system. Every moment of fear restructured your breath. Every disappointment altered your posture. Every heartbreak shifted the rhythm of your heartbeat. The timeline of your life is not held in your mind, it is held in your cells. The body keeps the score not to punish you, but to protect you. It creates patterns so you can survive. When something painful happens, the body learns a rule. Do not open, do not trust, do not relax. These rules become the architecture of your physical reality. They appear as tension, hesitation, anxiety, fatigue, overthinking. They live in the way you move and react long after the original moment has passed. This is why time does not heal anything on its own. Time only creates distance. Healing begins when you rewrite the signal the body has been carrying. The past is only real when the nervous system is still responding to it. The moment the body receives a new instruction, the timeline shifts. The body does not know the difference between then and now. It only knows the frequency you are living in. If you live from fear, the body thinks the threat is present. If you live from peace, the body understands that the danger has ended. You are not trapped in the timeline you live through. You are trapped in the chemistry that timeline created. This is the key to rewriting your story. You change the emotional state and the biology follows. This is not about erasing the past. It is about upgrading the meaning. Every painful experience has two layers. The event itself and the memory your body formed around it. The event cannot be changed. The memory can. When you remember from survival, you collapse into old identity. When you remember from presence, the body rewrites the pattern. The nervous system finally understands that you are no longer the same person. The most powerful truth is that the body responds to who you are now, not who you were. It adjusts the timeline the moment the signal changes. This is why people heal when they make a decision. Not because the past disappears, but because the body shifts into a different frequency. Decision is a form of biological instruction. When you decide you are done carrying an old identity, the heart slows. The breath deepens, the muscles release. The body receives the message that the timeline has changed. Trauma is not the wounds you live through. Trauma is the state of being stuck in the moment after the wound. Healing is the release of that moment. When you breathe into the chest, you tell the body the threat is gone. When you relax your face and jaw, you dissolve the old signal. When you allow emotion to move, you complete the cycle that was interrupted. The body does not need you to solve the past. It needs you to acknowledge it. Emotion only gets stuck when it is denied. When it is allowed, it becomes movement. The nervous system understands closure, not through logic, but through sensation. Presence is the new timeline. When you live in the present, the body begins to reorganize its chemistry. Stress hormones decrease. The heart rate stabilizes. The brain shifts into clarity. The past loses its grip. You are not trapped in memory. You are trapped in reaction. Reaction can be rewritten. The body is not loyal to pain. It is loyal to the signal you repeat. If you repeat fear, the body repeats protection. If you repeat safety, the body repeats expansion. The timeline of the body changes one signal at a time. Breath is a timeline shift. Awareness is a timeline shift. Stillness is a timeline shift. A moment of gratitude rewires the same chemistry that stress created. The cells listen. The nervous system listens. They do not need dramatic transformation. They only need consistent truth. Even the deepest patterns begin to break when the body feels safe. Safety is the beginning of every timeline shift. When you stop running from yourself, the body stops running from the past. Identity changes and the timeline follows. The moment you accept that the old version of you is dead, the body updates, the muscles soften, the breath expands, the heart stabilizes, the nervous system releases the old loop. You do not rewrite the timeline by changing the memory. You rewrite it by becoming someone who is no longer defined by it. Every version of you still exists in the field. The child who suffered, the adult who survived, the one who collapsed, the one who rose. The body can access any version depending on the signal you send. When you shift into a higher identity, the cells reorganize, they rewrite their instructions, they dissolve the chemistry of the old timeline. Your body is not an archive. It is a living map that updates with every breath you take. You are not carrying a scar. You are carrying a story the body has not finished telling. When you allow it to complete that story, the timeline ends, and a new one begins. The most important truth is that you are not trapped in the past. You are not damaged by what happened. You are shaped by what you chose to carry forward. You can choose again. You can declare that the timeline where you were hurt is no longer the one you live in. The body will adjust. The nervous system will update. The heart will change its signal. Healing is not a return to an old self. Healing is the creation of a new timeline where the past no longer commands your biology. The body is always listening for the moment you decide to live from truth instead of memory. And when that moment comes, the timeline shifts instantly. The past loses authority. The future becomes open. The present becomes the only place you belong. Homecoming is not the moment you arrive at a destination. It is the moment the body and the soul finally agree on where you belong. The quantum homecoming begins when you stop chasing change from the outside and begin recognizing that everything you were seeking has always been encoded inside you. The journey through awakening, through the field, through the nervous system, through the breath and the light, was never about becoming someone else. It was about stripping away everything that was never truly you. Every pattern you dissolved was a doorway. Every shift in perception was a signal to your cells that the exile was ending. The homecoming begins when your body stops operating as if the world is against you and starts responding as if it is an extension of you. This is the moment the frequency aligns. Your nervous system is no longer bracing. The breath stops collapsing. The heart expands in a calm that once felt impossible. You realize the universe never withheld anything from you. It waited for you to step out of survival and into presence. This return home does not arrive with a loud celebration. It arrives in a subtle inner knowing. The timelines you once feared collapse quietly. The identity you once carried dissolves. The old narratives lose their weight. You look at the world and it looks different, not because it changed, but because you did. The quantum homecoming is the recognition that the body and the field speak the same language. The heart is no longer a battlefield. The mind is no longer an enemy. Your biology becomes your ally again. For the first time in a long time, you do not question your worth. You embody it. You do not wait for permission. You are the permission. Homecoming happens when you realize the place you were trying to get to was never outside. It was resonance. The moment your body trusts your soul, the field opens like a doorway you did not know was there. You start to move differently, with clarity, with softness, with a silent certainty that nothing is working against you. The world no longer feels overwhelming because you no longer meet it from fear, you meet it from coherence. This is the state where your decisions are no longer fueled by lack, they are guided by vision. Your voice no longer trembles with doubt. It deepens with direction. You speak from truth, not reaction. The homecoming reshapes everything. You feel the gentle shift in your posture, the way your breath unravels the last tension in your chest, the way your thoughts no longer rush to protect you from imaginary futures. Your cells begin to communicate with clarity. Your heart rate follows the rhythm of presence, not panic. You become the conductor of your own inner field. And then something extraordinary happens. You recognize that you were never broken. You were distracted. You were never disconnected. You were asleep in a reality that told you to survive instead of live. The homecoming wakes you. It returns you to a deeper intelligence, the intelligence that knows that you are not separate from the forces that shape your reality. You are part of them. You are the co-creator of your life. When this realization settles into the body, there is a moment of stillness that feels like truth. The past stops chasing you. The future stops threatening you. The present becomes enough. You know exactly who you are and exactly where you stand in the universe. The quantum homecoming is not an ending. It is the moment you begin living from the center instead of the edge. The moment you stop negotiating with your old fears and start acting from your highest remembering. This is what happens when you return to the body with clarity. The nervous system aligns, the breath deepens, the field opens. You move through the world no longer as a fractured version of yourself, but as the integrated self who has taken every fragment and forged it into power. You become the embodiment of the journey you walked, not the wounds, the wisdom, not the collapse, the coherence, not the story of who hurt you, the truth of who you chose to become. This is the moment your biology and your consciousness are no longer separate paths. They are one road. The quantum homecoming is a reunion with your original frequency, the one you had before fear, before trauma, before the world told you who you had to be. It is a return to the frequency of creation itself. That is why it feels like peace. That is why it feels like expansion. That is why it feels like truth. Your cells recognize it. Your heart remembers it. Your breath welcomes it, like an old friend finally returning. And in this state, you are not trying to become aligned. You are alignment. Not trying to heal, you are healing in motion. Not trying to survive, you are fully alive. This is the homecoming, a return not to what you once were, but to what you were always meant to express. A reality where you no longer force anything, but allow, where you no longer collapse into the smallest version of yourself, but rise into the most coherent one, where every moment becomes an opportunity to remember your power. The quantum homecoming is not the final chapter. It is the beginning of a new identity, a new timeline, a new frequency. You have stepped into a version of yourself that does not need to prove anything. It only needs to continue expanding. And before we close this journey, I want to honor you for choosing to listen, for choosing to awaken, for choosing to remember your truth. Your path is not accidental. Your presence here is not random. You are part of the field that is rising. You are part of the consciousness that is returning home. If these words ignited something in you, share this transmission with someone who is ready to awaken with you. Share it like a signal across the field. Share it as a reminder that no one has to walk home alone. May you walk forward from here with clarity, with calm, with power. May your steps be guided by the deepest truth inside you. Welcome home.